Okay, just a recording for my 10A3 class. Just a few hints for the homework, which is due on Wednesday, 25th of January. The homework is solving equations, also forming equations as well. Okay, question 1. You're told the perimeter of the rectangle is 37 centimeters. Okay, so you have a rectangle here. We've got length of x plus 3 and x. Alright, key bit of information, couple of key bits. The perimeter and 37 centimeters. Okay, what you need to do to work out the value of x, you need to form an equation with x's in it. Okay, again, think about equation. Equation has to have an equal sign in. Right, so you're told the perimeter is 37 centimeters. What you need to do is use what you're given here to form an expression for the perimeter. Okay, and then that's got to equal 37 centimeters. So what you're going to need is to say an expression for the perimeter, and that will equal 37 centimeters. Then all we need to do is simplify the expression and solve the equation, and your answer will be what x equals. Okay, question 2, a little bit of problem solving. It says, in the table, A, B and C represent numbers. The total for each row is given. Work out the numbers for the column totals. Okay, we don't actually need to write down an equation. You don't get any marks for writing equations. We just need to find out what A, B and C is. If you write an equation, it might help you, but just a little bit of a hint here. If we start with the top row, we have 3 A's. The total of that row is 12. Okay, then what we can do is move down the rows each time. Once we get what A is, what B is and what C is, we can quite easily find the column totals. Okay, the marks for that are just in the top right here, so 4 marks for that. Okay, that will be 1 mark for each column total and 1 mark for your working out. Question 3. The length of a rectangle is x centimeters. Okay, so the length is x centimeters. The width of the rectangle, so width is 3 centimeters less than the length. So 3 centimeters less than the length. So part A wants you to write down an expression for the width of the rectangle in terms of x. Okay, so again, a few key things. Expression, just something that has a mixture of letters and numbers in it. Okay, you're trying to find the width. Again, the width is 3 centimeters less than the length, and the length is x. So hopefully I'm going to have an expression for the width here. Then moving on to part B, it says the perimeter of the rectangle is 40 centimeters. Set up and solve an equation to work out the length of the rectangle. This is linked very nicely to question 1, where you have a rectangle drawn. It's a lot easier if you have a picture of the rectangle. So a quick tip for this: draw a rectangle in. Doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, put in your values so you know that the length of a rectangle is x. I'll put x in here. The width is 3 centimeters less than the length. So for A, you should have got a value for the width, an expression. Put that in here, and then again, just like in question 1, the perimeter is 40 centimeters, so you'll have an equation. That equation for the perimeter will equal 40 centimeters. So we need to work out what the equation is, simplify it, then solve it, and that will be your answer. Over the page, question 4. It's got a 5-mark question split into 2 1 marks and a 3 mark. Okay, so in a quiz, players can choose to answer easy or hard questions. X points are scored for an easy question, so X points for easy. You've got 10 more points for a hard. We want to write down the points scored for a hard question in terms of X. So if X points for an easy question, 10 more points for a hard. Think about what will be 10 more points than X. I'll put that in there. Part B, a player correctly answers 3 easy questions and 2 hard questions. She scores 95 points. use this information to write an equation in x. So we're trying to get an equation. The total points is 95 points. So what we need to do is find out what an easy question will give you, find out how many points a hard question will give you, which is your answer to part A. If you answer 3 easy questions and 2 hard questions, think about how you would get the total of them 5 questions altogether, and that total will equal 95 points. So again, we've got an equation which will equal 95. Simplify the equation and solve it, and you'll find your value of x. Sorry, we just need to write an equation for part B. Part C is where we need to simplify and solve our equation. Okay, so it says find the number of points scored for an easy question. If, back to part A, the easy question is x, we're just finding x here. Finally, question 5, another 5-mark question. I'll just zoom out a little bit here. So it says the first diagram shows a kitchen wall with a window and 2 electrical sockets. So we've got a window, we've got a socket here, and a socket here. The second diagram shows the length of each socket. So the diagram here shows that the socket is 15 centimeters. We need to work out the lengths of x and y. So this is 5 marks, which means you won't be given steps like in the previous question. We'll need to do it all ourselves. So first thing, usually we solve things in alphabetical order, so it's easier to find x than it is to find y. So for x, I'm going to look at this section up here. Okay, I know that this section, this length is 155 centimeters. I know that the socket is 15 centimeters because it tells me below, and then we've got 2 equal lengths which are of length x in there. Okay, we need to find the lengths of each x, and that will be the length in here. Again, just like equations, what we always should do is double check, so use our value of x to see if this makes sense. Okay, final section for y, we need to look at this section. Okay, now it doesn't tell us the length of this section, okay, but it does give you enough information that you can work out what length this section is. So I'm going to leave that with you. Okay, hopefully we can use that to find y, and y will go in here. Okay, thank you.